Good day. Today I thought of talking about my own experience with our Southern Highway. That is our first expressway. I'm Professor M.T.R. Jayasinghe, Senior Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, University of Matara. So, Southern Highway was actually, as I know, the foundation stone was laid during the time that we had a government, a UMP government, from January 2001 towards the end of, until the end of 2003. So for about 2 years we had a government, and during that time the foundation stone was laid and the project was started. And the project was initiated somewhere around 1990s, late 1990s. So the foundation stone was laid somewhere around 2003. I was not in Sri Lanka. I was in Australia doing my sabbatical, so that's why I don't know the exact date that the Southern Highway was, the foundation stone was laid. But I heard that it was laid by the current Prime Minister, and he was the Prime Minister those days as well. He was the Prime Minister in 1994 as well, and then he was the Prime Minister in 2002 and 3 as well. So then we heard many things like, there was a massive project and so on. The highway was built, and the original plan, although it's a highway, it was fallen only up to Kurudugahatam. From Kurudugahatam up to Matara, it was a two-lane highway. And the first part, it was primarily funded by the first part from Kottawa to Kurudugahatam was funded by JAIC, Japan Association for International Cooperation or something like that. Not JICA, it is JAIC. And the main contractor was selected with competitive bidding, and it was Taisei. And the cost was around something like some 45-50 kilometers. The cost was around 30 billion rupees. So a kilometer costing less than 1,000 millions. And then after some time, they thought that constructing a two-lane highway is not prudent because one, it has to be widened, so it is extra work. So they thought by that time, highway was almost done up to Matara. They said, okay, let's forget about Goal Matara stretch. We'll concentrate more on Kurundugahatam Goal stretch and complete it. And although it started well, the management from the road, from the Ministry of Highways was not very good. And then there were many other problems like pilferage, and there was a story that most of the buses from in Matugum area are run on the diesel stolen from Southern Highway project. So they were having a lot of problems, and the consultants are not had little strained relationships with the contractors, and contractors are trying their best to make additional buck by going for claims. So it was all in a little messy condition. And then in October 2009, suddenly there was a collapse. And Dr. Sujiva Levankamage phoned me that morning and said there's a collapse in Southern Highway. So then I also looked at it on papers. About 2 days after this incident, there was huge protests and big trouble by the villagers. And I got a call saying that now they appointed a three-member presidential commission, and my name has been proposed as the chairman of the commission committee, and there'll be two other members. One, a senior lecturer who is about 5 years older than me, and a senior engineer from ISL who is about 14, 15 years older than me. So I was only 46 years of age, but I had huge experience with highway and bridges, and I had highway experience. Again, started from my undergraduate training, and then my PhD was on bridges. Although it's artificial intelligence, the domain was continuous bridges, and I actually provided a theoretical solution to a very intricate problem that baffled all the design engineers, that prevented them optimizing the structures. And for that, I gave a theoretical solution. In for my PhD, I have never seen a laboratory. It was all theoretical stuff because there was a theoretical problem that I had to solve to address the deep knowledge-based issues needed for making excellent software that can be where the software will guide the designer than designer using the software. So it's an expert-based, ecosystem-based system, but we actually looked deeply into the AI applications. So then I did so many bridges. I have done research on bridges, published on bridges, and then I also designed bridges. The longest and widest flyover is under my name. That is Orugodorta flyover, more than half a kilometer long and 17.6 meters wide. The original RD design had 10 piles and so many beams. And the value engineering proposal was actually proposed at the request of the Chinese contractor, and they said, okay, we need a solution like this. Can you design it in that kind of context? And I said yes. And then Mr. Nimal Chanseri, who is actually Professor Priyandasa's batchmate, who is 7 years older than me, born in 1956, got a second lower, but he's one of the best engineers I have ever seen up to now. And he also, so two of us got together and got it sorted out. And then I have done so many checking for Bailey design for tendering purposes. You just name it, I could do it. And then in 2009, again, we did designs for Maga, where we completed for 125 and 75 meter bridges in just 4 months. So basically, I was a bridge engineer, so it's also bridge collapse, so I had enough experience and my credentials were very good. So then when we inspected, we found actually everything has happened properly except one Japanese engineer messing up and doing things his own way. So it was, although there was a big accident, it was not a fault. And it is I would say it's a very unfortunate accident, but it became an eye-opener. What happened was two boys were crossing. One boy got a call on his mobile. He stopped, and it was raining. The wrong repair method. As soon as the boy who continued to walk completed his journey, the structure collapsed due to saturation of soil. And losing its strength and becoming heavy, it collapsed. So then, So we were asked to give a report in 2 weeks. I said, this kind of massive, review work on the whole highway cannot be done. From Punagasa to Goal cannot be done in 2 weeks. So just give us 1 week, 1 month. So we had to go for inquiry. We conducted inquiries. We recorded evidence, and as we recorded evidence, it all became evidence that they have followed correct procedures with proper method statements and approvals. Everything was there except one. I really don't know why high-handed, a very young Japanese engineer has gone and done everything his way rather than following the method statements. But we also had to look at all the other things, and Mr. Chansiri gave me a lot of information on steel soil structures, and when I started doing calculations, I found there are many faults in the designs. So that immediately gave us upper hand, because a design and build contract has done constructed structures for not very sound designs. I would say not 100% wrong, but not very sound. So within 2 weeks, we completed our inquiries, and by the time I work very during night time, and I can touch type, I can write very fast, and then I can type very fast. So basically, I produce a complete report, huge report, with all facts included in less than 2 weeks, and send the report to all the others, and they were all surprised. And that coordination work was from RD was Mr. Chansiri. So then we spent the next 2 weeks, because my one was just a draft. So we all got together and polished it very well, and we argued, and we had a very enjoyable time completing a report on a huge project. And we finished everything in 1 month and submitted. And that report had an executive summary. Executive summary alone was 18 pages of details. And then I was told, this summary is too long, and can you give us 3-page summary, because president doesn't like to read long. Then I told them politely that, these are real deep, tough engineering jobs involving deep knowledge. Such things cannot be summarized to 3 pages, but if you want, I'll give a try. And I summarized it for 9 pages and said, if you want, you read it, otherwise you forget it. Because we were not paid, and basically later, they paid something like 180,000 to me, 80,000 rupees to me, but for that kind of work, any other consultant would have charged in millions. So, but it was all okay, because we are all educated with taxpayers' money. And when our countries, our motherland is in trouble, it's our duty. And then Admiral Vasanta Kannagod was appointed as the Secretary of Ministry, and Engineer BVD and Chansiri, or Engineer Mal Chansiri, became the project director. And we all, first Mr. Chansiri allowed 1 month period to subside all the burning fires, because contractors are not in talking terms with consultants, and huge mistrust. So Mr. Chansiri allowed everything to settle. And after that, he started working. He's a brilliant engineer, brilliant project manager. He got things done so fast. And then we found there were so many blunders in the bridge designs done by CCB, because those were supervised by inexperienced engineers. Then we had huge arguments with the consultants hired, British consultants, and to argue with them, RDA hired the services of Dr. Sujiv and myself, and we fought like hell. And in one meeting, they said, if the pile cap is cracked, it's not a problem. Then I asked them, why the hell you used concrete? You should have actually used rubble masonry to construct the pile cap. Then they know they have got a tough nut to crack. And then by November 2011, we made sure the whole highway was completed, and then we even participated in Goal Matara. And I would like to say the cost was not exorbitant and very, very cost effective. No fraud in the cost wise, and whatever the others say, the cost per kilometer, I would say, when you structure everything is considered, it was less than 1,000 million per kilometer, which is a very good value even when you consider the international market values. Thank you.